a dream in which an angel told him, "Build a house out of fragments." Gabriel began collecting cracked tiles, plates, ornaments, and broken pots. Every fragment transformed into something beautiful, Gabriel said of his work. For the first 40 years, the locals decided he must be mad. But when a few tourists discovered the house and began bringing their friends, then Gabriel became a genius. The novelty soon wore off, however, and Gabriel was once again relegated to anonymity. Nevertheless, he continued building his house, and when he was 93, he put the final shard of glass in place and died. The traveler lights a cigarette and smokes in silence. Today, he isn't thinking about the similarity between Gabriel's house and the architecture of Antoni Gaudí. He is looking at all those fragments and reflecting on his own existence, which, like that of everyone else, is made up of fragments of everything that has happened to him. At a certain point, though, those fragments begin to take shape. And the traveler recalls a little of his past life as he reads the papers he is holding. These are fragments of his life, too. Experiences he lived through, unforgettable passages from books, his master's teachings, stories told to him by friends or by others, as well as reflections on his own times and on the dreams of his generation. Just like the man who dreamed that an angel visited him and then went on to build the house the traveler is looking at now, he is trying to put those papers in order so as to understand his own spiritual architecture. He remembers as a child reading a book by Malbatahan entitled Maktub, and he thinks, perhaps I should do the same. The master says, when we sense that the time has come to change, we begin, unconsciously, to rerun a tape showing all our failures up until then. And of course, as we grow older, our quota of difficult moments increases too. However, at the same time, experience has given us the means to overcome those defeats and find a path that will allow us to carry on. We need to include that on our mental video as well. If we only watch the video of our failures, we will become paralyzed and unable to act. If we only watch the video of our successes, we will end up thinking we are much wiser than we really are. We need both videos. Imagine a caterpillar. He spends much of his life on the ground, looking up at the birds, filled with indignation at both his fate and his appearance. I am the most despicable of creatures, he thinks, ugly, repulsive, condemned to crawl about on the earth. One day, though, nature asks him to make a cocoon. The caterpillar is most alarmed. He has never made a cocoon before. He assumes he is building his own tomb and prepares to die. Still indignant at the life he has led so far, he again complains to God, "Just when I'd finally gotten used to being me, you take away the little I have." In despair, he shuts himself up in the cocoon and awaits his end. A few days later, though, he finds he has been transformed into a beautiful butterfly. He can fly about in the air and be admired by humans. He is surprised by the direction in which life has taken him and by God's designs. A stranger went to see the abbot of the Shetis monastery. "I want to lead a better life," he said, "but I can't stop thinking about sinful things." Noticing that it was windy outside, the abbot said to the stranger, "It's very hot in here. Could you grab a piece of that wind and bring it in here to cool the room?" "That's impossible," said the stranger. "Just as impossible as it is to stop thinking about things that might offend God," said the abbot. "But if you can say no to temptations, they won't cause you any trouble." The master says, whenever there is a decision to be made, it's best just to go ahead and accept the consequences. You cannot possibly know in advance what those consequences might be. The art of divination was intended to advise humankind, not to foresee the future. Divination is an excellent counselor, but a terrible prophet. In the prayer that Jesus taught us, he says, "Thy will be done." Whenever that will presents us with a problem,